This is the opinion of our guest writer. Admin just helped to publish. Let's dive into our topic today. Once upon a time, in the bustling world of enterprise software, a new breed of hero emerged. Their mugs were emblazoned with "I turn coffee into code." Their spreadsheets glowed with the secrets of budgeting, and their Slack statuses shone green through weekends and holidays. Yes, this dear listener, humorous, is the story of the modern Java developer, a journey spanning from the lofty heights of the classic enterprise architect to today's bulletproof, caffeine-fueled, full-stack unicorn. Let's travel back, not quite to the geological epoch of COBOL and punch cards, but to that glorious era somewhere between Agile is new and everything is a microservice. At the center of this age stood the Java dev, confident, well-versed in design patterns, dedicated to refactoring switch statements, and bearing a certain reverence, sometimes terror, for the IDE. Eclipse or IntelliJ, take your sides. The battle lines were drawn not just in code, but in plugin configurations. And what was the life of the Java dev? Drenched in the comforting gray of their terminal, repositories cluttered with legacy code, they toiled for project managers who, let's be honest, minored in making Gantt charts look impressive and majored in forgetting what APIs do. The Java developer learned ancient incantations: public static void main, implements serializable, invoking their mystical powers, tethered to the chicken wire framework of Spring, Hibernate, and XML configuration files thick enough to choke a load balancer. But times, as they do, changed. The Great Migration began. It started slowly, a whisper at first. Have you seen what those front-end kids are doing? JavaScript isn't just for making buttons wobble anymore. Someone, somewhere, fired up NPM. And the first pure Java backend developer broke the build with a pull request titled "Added React for Admin Login." Thus began the slippery slope from Java dev to "I guess I can fix the CSS if you really need me to." But before our protagonists leveled up, let's not forget the golden age of the consultant. Yes, consultants. Those legendary figures, sent from mythical lands called Big Four, or birthed from the deep caffeinated catacombs of boutique dev shops. You know them by their laptops stickered with dozens of pseudo-ironic logos, their LinkedIn headlines reading, "Agile Evangelist," "Digital Transformation Wizard," "Blockchain Disruptor," "Open for DMs." A consultant's power lies partly in their technical dexterity, but more in their ability to use phrases like business value throughput, or to draw three-layered circles on a whiteboard and assign them names like Synergy Mandala. The consultant enters, armed to the teeth, laptop, dongles of every known shape, and the mystical password manager holding 500 logins, yet never the one that works on the current client's VPN. If you hear chanting, it's just that one dev spinning up Kubernetes, and the other half of the room chanting, "Don't! We're not ready for microservices." Lais? In this period, frameworks blossomed like wildflowers after rain, or like weeds, depending on who you ask. Java, the bedrock of stability, welcomed friends and frenemies. AngularJS whispered heresy from the front end. Kafka sent messages to nowhere. Jenkins lost hair compiling Jenkins. "Are you a senior Java dev?" became less about experience and more about confidently saying "it depends" to any technical question and then quietly Googling everything. It was also a time when devs and consultants found purpose in war rooms, those sacred offshoots of open offices, coronated with scatterings of pizza boxes and prayers to the Wi-Fi gods. Requirements documents migrated from Jira to Confluence and back. Mid-meeting, Scrum Masters were born, gathering teams in circles every morning to answer the eternal riddle. Did anyone get anything done yesterday? Most were unsure. No comedy is complete without the Great Migration. Back-end developers, veterans of the JVM, and battle-hardened by null-pointer exceptions, coaxed reluctantly into the world of full-stack development. "We need you to just help out for a sprint on the front," the fateful words. One day you're obsessing over database indexing, the next you're squinting at CSS pixel alignment issues, debugging why buttons render 12 times larger on IE11 than Chrome. You held the fort with REST APIs, now you're wrestling Redux, SCSS, and a stubborn date picker that refuses to localize. The title changed too. Gone were the days of Java Developer Grade 3. Now it was Full Stack Engineer, Polyglot Problem Solver, or, for the bravest, Unicorn Developer. Those rare creatures equally at home in Java, Node, Angular, React, containers, cloud, CI, CD, and, when forced, navigating the treacherous waters of writing documentation. Now you didn't just build the engine. You painted the car, designed the dashboard, installed the GPS, and synchronized Bluetooth to everyone's phone. And with new skills came new paradoxes. For every efficiency gained, a configuration file grew by 10 pages. For every microservice architected the right way, a new layer of abstraction was born, until somewhere, deep in the pipes, a single threaded process remained, forever left logging hello world. With the rise of Stack Overflow, you gained a second family, the strangers who answered questions at 3 a.m. with copy-pastable blessings or curses, and who, occasionally, would snarkily close your post with duplicate of question 12408. Have you tried turning it off and on again? As companies scrambled for agility like it was an NFT drop, it wasn't enough to just sling Java. Now you had to containerize your world with Docker, orchestrate with Kubernetes, Lambdify on AWS, and automate with a CI/CD pipeline, so complex only ancient oracles and junior DevOps apprentices dared touch it unaided. Ah yes, the dreaded full-stack interview. Part code kata, part trivia showdown, part psychoanalysis. Can you explain the difference between an abstract class and an interface? Simple. Abstract classes are relics, and interfaces cause bike shedding. How familiar are you with cloud-native serverless event-driven micro frontends? Just smile and pretend like you didn't just Google the phrase. Let us not forget, in this consultant era, the rise of the demo. Every 2 weeks, a huddle of developers, consultants, project managers, and a senior leader terrified of anything over 3 syllables would gather on Zoom. Demos would break with an unexpected 502 error. The code would run fine on localhost and fail on the deployed environment. Someone's camera would freeze in a moment of unfortunate facial expression. The motto? If it works in prod, it was meant to be. And through it all, the full-stack unicorn emerged, sometimes twice as stressed, with Slack pings echoing through the night, but now fluent in explaining why that simple change isn't a hotfix, but an epic, why legacy code is code not written by them, and how the entire data pipeline used to work before someone upgraded Node 12 versions in one sprint. They are masters of their fate and captives of their backlog. Of course, full-stack workshoreers quickly learned that full-stack means all the bugs are now your problem. Is prod down? Backend says it's the front. Front blames the API gateway. API gateway blames DNS. DNS blames Azure, which blames you for deploying on a Friday. Now, consultants and unicorns alike know that a big part of the craft isn't coding anymore. It's navigating meetings, aligning stakeholders, and synthesizing the strategic from the trivial. PowerPoint became the deadliest IDE. Management requested just a quick dashboard that inexplicably required rewriting half the database schema, integrating with a third-party vendor in Bulgaria, and learning the unholy intersection of data governance compliance and CSS variables. Sometimes the consultant ceases consulting and joins the company outright. You can spot them from their old battle scars. 15 color-coded calendars, an efficient, I'll circle back on that, when pressed for a real answer, and a mysterious talent for finding ways to WFH just as hot desking is mandated. In the end, our hero journeys from IDE hermit to full-stack ninja to, can you just take a look at this for me? Superhero. The legacy code, once mocked, becomes heritage. The whiteboard diagrams expand, the architect resumes fill, and a new generation embarks. Less Java, more TypeScript, less XML, more YAML, but still that eternal truth. If it builds on your machine, it will break on theirs. So, here's to you, guardians of the stack, keepers of arcane dependencies, refactorers of spaghetti, first responders to failing deployments. May your tests be green, your CLIs be kind, and your merge conflicts human-readable. The consultant era may have ended, but your legend, your patch notes, will live on forever. Thanks for sticking around. Don't forget to subscribe us and check out therapyandrelaxation.com for more. See you tomorrow.